السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. الحمد لله. الحمد لله الكريم المجيب لكل سائل. سبحانه هو التائب على من تاب، فلم يجعل بينه وبين العباد حائل. سبحانك ربي سبحانك، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، له الملك وله الحمد، يحيي ويميت وهو على كل شيء قدير. وأشهد أن سيدنا وإمامنا وقائدنا رسول الله محمد. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليك سيدي يا رسول الله. أنت الذي من نورك البدر اكتسى، والشمس مشرقة بنور بهاك. أنت الذي لما رفعت إلى السماء بك قد سمت وتزينت لسراك. أنت الذي ناداك ربك مرحبا، ولقد دعاك لقربه وحباك. وخفضت دين الشرك يا علم الهدى، ورفعت دينك فاستقام هناك. ماذا يقول المادحون وما عسى أن يكتب الكتاب من معناك. صلى عليك الله يا علم الهدى، ما اشتاق مشتاق إلى رؤياك. سيدي سيدي يا رسول الله، الصدق أنت، وأنت إشراق الهدى، ولك الكتاب الخالد الصفحات. من يقصد الدنيا بغيرك يلقها فيها من الأهوال والحسرات. صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما، فبه تنال جنة ونعيما. الله يجزي من يصلي مرة 10 ويبقى في النعيم مقيما. ثم أما بعد، فحياكم الله وبياكم وأبقاكم عوامل رفع لهذه الأمة، وحياكم in the name of Allah, the most gracious and the most merciful, I bear witness that there is no God worthy of our worship except Allah. I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the messenger of Allah. We praise Allah. We thank Allah. We show our gratitude to Allah, the one who allowed us to come here, to gather together as one family, as one community, in His house, in His place of worship, where everyone is welcome. We ask Allah to bless our gathering. Allahumma ameen. My brothers and sisters, welcome back to another Jumu'ah. And let me share with you a little bit of my thought about the purpose of the Jumu'ah. Why we are here. Why do we gather? Why we meet together in this particular time? Actually, for many reasons. One of these reasons, to show our submission to Allah. That Allah had called us. And Allah said in a particular surah named after Jumu'ah, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا إِذَا نُودِيَ لِلصَّلَاةِ مِنْ يَوْمِ الْجُمُعَةِ فَاسْعَوْا إِلَى ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ وَذَرُوا الْبَيْعَ. Allah said, all you who believe, when the adhan is made, the call is made for you to come to Jumu'ah, then hasten, run to the remembrance of Allah. So first of all, we came here to show our submission to Allah. Number two, the one who came early is not like the one who will come late. That's why the virtue will be different. People will vary in rewards based on the time, based on those who are listening attentively to the Imam, and based on those who will apply what the Imam is going to say. So that's why Jumu'ah is not just by coming to spend time laying your back to the wall, waiting for the Imam to finish, maybe sleeping a little bit, get quick nap till the Imam finishing. That's not the purpose. It's not resting time. It's not relaxing time. It is time for education. It is time for getting knowledge. It is time to charge your batteries, your heart, to uplift your Iman. That's why sometimes you might see in some of the stations, some of the portions of the khutbah, you find the Imam almost like screaming, almost like shouting, and you might sit in the back sleeping, then you wake up, what happened to that Imam? What's going on? Somebody should tell me. You know why? Because you didn't get the reason for the khutbah. The reason for the Jumu'ah. You came here to charge your heart, to transform yourself. And I don't want to spend too much in talking about this, but actually I came today with a very important topic that I have prepared throughout the entire week, the last week. And my intention, my mission today, I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help me. Because without Allah, I can do nothing. That's why I always make that dua, رَبِّ اشْرَحْ لِي صَدْرِي وَيَسِّرْ لِي أَمْرِي وَاحْلُلْ عُقْدَةً مِّن لِّسَانِي يَفْقَهُ قَوْلِي. Allahumma ameen. Oh Allah, expand my chest. Oh Allah, facilitate my affairs. Oh Allah, untie my tongue, so my tongue can be easy to speech, to tell the truth. Allahumma ameen. Today I wanted to share with you the story of a tyrant king. And I chose that story because we are in a time that we have lots of tyrants, and sometimes they do not need to be kings. They can take many other titles. But we are living in a time we have lots of tyrants, lots of oppressors, lots of dictators. And the Quran had given us those stories so we can learn. We can get the lessons. And Allah is telling us the story about a tyrant king was in a time of a prophet. Not like any other prophet, yet we believe in all of them without any differentiation, without any distinction. But he is, in the sight of Allah, is not like any other prophet, is not like any other messenger. He was Khalilur Rahman. Sayyiduna Ibrahim, Prophet Abraham, Khalilur Rahman, the close servant to Allah. Some people translate it as close friend. And that's not accurate. That's wrong translation. Because Allah said, مَتَّخَذَ صَاحِبَةً وَلَا وَلَدٍ. Allah did not consider a friend or even a son. So he is a close servant to Allah. And Sayyidina Ibrahim, with the long story that all of you already know, when he got angry, when he got furious, when he got jealous because of his people used to worship idols, so he decided to smash idols. And during his time was the tyrant king, Nimrood, known as Nimrood. Nimrood was the king that Allah had given him the kingdom of Babylon in Iraq. And during that time, he was a tyrant king. Some of the narrations, even in the Torah, in the Bible, they said he was the first king that he claimed that he is God. And some of the narrations in the Bible said that he was a half of a God, not even the whole God. So he claimed that he is God. Because of what? Because of the kingship that Allah had granted him. Allah had given him power. Allah had given him massive army. Allah had given him the physical structure, the muscular building, the muscular body. And you know, power always corrupts. And he became a corrupted king. When he had heard about what Ibrahim, the young man, the intelligent man, had done, he tried to investigate. And he asked his soldiers to bring him. Then he started to debate with Ibrahim alayhi salam. He said, why did you smash the idols? After long discussion, after long conversation, I don't want to spend the time in getting the conversation about the idols. But he said, why did you make this? He said, because they are false gods. Then he said, who is the true God? He said, my God and your God is Allah. He said, tell me more about Allah. He said, Allah, yuhyi wa yumit. My God can give life, can cause death. So the man was so stupid, was so dumb. And he said to himself, you know what? I am also God. Why? Because ana uhyi wa umit. I can give life, I can cause death. And he said, Sayyidina Ibrahim said, give me example. And the example shows the stupidity of that king. He got two persons from the prison and he said to the soldiers, kill that person. They killed a person in front of the eyes of the Prophet Ibrahim. And he said, that is how can I cause death? And he set the other one free. He said to the other one from the prison, go, you are free. He said, now I give him life. So, Sayyidina Ibrahim, in front of that ignorance, he didn't want to waste the time to argue. And nowadays, let me just take that as an example to tell my brothers and sisters, do not waste the time with some people that they might see killing kids, killing women, killing civilians, killing innocent, that is a justification to defend themselves. That's why we have lots of Nimrood nowadays. There are lots of people thinking killing kids, killing innocents, killing civilians, that is a justification to defend yourself because they are human shields. Don't waste time, because those people will never listen. You cannot argue with somebody about the sun when they cannot open their eyes because of its rays. Someone has the sun penetrating his eyes, the rays penetrating his eyes, and still arguing, where is the sun? That person, do not argue with him. قد تنكر العين ضوء الشمس من رمد أو ينكر الفم طعم الماء من سقم لكن لا أحد ينكر أن ما يحدث هو جريمة نكراء ليس في حق الإسلام ولا المسلمين ولكن في حق الإنسانية لمن كان لديهم ذرة إنسانية. Do not argue with somebody about this. And that is what Sayyidina Ibrahim had done. He skipped that point and he moved to another powerful point. And he said, if that is the case, and you claim that you can give life and cause death, you know what? My God, Allah makes every day the sun to rise up from the east. Tomorrow, I want you to control the sun if you are truly God and make the sun rise from the west. So Allah said, فَبُهِتَ الَّذِي كَفَرَ. So then that dictator, that tyrant, Allah said, buhita. He became ashamed, speechless. He couldn't respond because he realized that he is so weak and he is a fake claiming God. And you know what? From that time, that tyrant, that dictator started to kill people, to kill the followers of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Everyone will declare Tawheed. Everyone will say, Rabbi Allah. He used to kill them. He used to chase them. He used to prison them. He used to persecute them. Because of what? Because of Iman. And that is why, do not let them fool you by other talks, by other points that is not relevant to what is going on right now. It is about the truth and the falsehood. It's about deen or no deen. You know why? Because the last of the days before the day of judgment, there are lots of people who will still, they claim they are Muslims. They will still argue about Dajjal. They see Dajjal in front of their eyes. He is one-eyed. He has kafir on his forehead. And some Muslims will be fooled to the point that they will argue about Dajjal and they will say, you know, he is a good person. He just wanted good for humanity. Be careful. Because if you reach to that point and you still confused about what is going on, that means you do not take Quran as your curriculum. You are like Bani Israel. They have cows in front of their eyes and they're still talking about إِنَّ الْبَقَرَ تَشَابَهَ عَلَيْنَا. Cows are alike. We do not know the reality, Imam. So leave them alone. That's not the way. And you know, Sayyidina Ibrahim was so sharp, saying the truth, no matter what. And the Nimrood was so arrogant. And I will talk in the next khutbah, or in the second khutbah today, about arrogance. But let me tell you how Allah had defeated him. He was so arrogant to the point that he did not believe in Allah. He did not acknowledge that he is so weak, that he is not God. He did not believe in Ibrahim and his message, but he asked his advisors to build a big, huge, tall, massive tower. Why? Just think about why. Because I told you power corrupts. So he wanted the soldiers to go up to that tower and they take their arrows. Why? He wanted to kill the God of Ibrahim. He wanted to shoot arrows so he can kill the God who sends revelation to Ibrahim. He was that dumb that he wanted to kill Allah, the creator of universe, through the arrows. So he went up and he started with his soldiers to shoot arrows. And you know what happened? Allah wanted to teach us lessons. He is arrogant? Yes. He is tyrant? Yes. But he is, in the sight of Allah, insignificant. What do you think the response of Allah will be? Do you think that Allah will send F-16 to hit his tower? No. Allah does not need this. What do you think? Nuclear bomb? No. What do you think? A storm? Hurricane? Flood? No. Allah had sent to him and his army mosquitoes. Imam, are you awake? Yes. Allah had sent mosquitoes to Nimrood, the most powerful king on earth at that time. Yes. And the bugs, the mosquitoes, had killed all his army. And Nimrood himself, he saw the mosquitoes and he was so mad. What's going on? Why don't you see me as God? He was so arrogant. And there is one mosquito came to his nose. And he, by mistake, that's how he thought, he sniffed that mosquito. And the mosquito had entered to his nose, then to his brain, and started to buzz, started to make that noise. And he was so sick, having that buzzing, that sound, that terrible sound in his mind, in his head. And you know what? The only remedy, the only relief for his pain was one solution. That he used to bring all his soldiers in his huge palace to hit him with the shoes over his head. Otherwise, he cannot sleep because of the headache, because of the pain. So the soldiers, what he called his own slaves, used to beat him up with the shoes. We used to hit his head severely, hardly, so the buzz will stop a little bit, till Allah killed him. Allah caused that little mosquito to kill him. What do you think now about those who are claiming power, weapons? Do you think they will be greater than Nimrood? Even if they are greater than Nimrood, I am delivering the message today to tell every Muslim, if you believe in Allah, if you believe in His power, if you believe that the victory comes only from Allah, if you believe that in 2023 we have thousands of Nimrood, be sure that Allah had created millions of mosquitoes. Nothing can come against the will of Allah. If Allah willed, He will say, Kun fayakun. That is the power of Allah. And my quick message, it's about arrogance. Lots of people, even if they are Muslims, they didn't get the lesson yet. They might show arrogance. See, Nimrood, Qarun, Fir'aun, Haman, أين الجبابرة؟ أين قارون؟ أين فرعون؟ أين من دوخوا الدنيا بسطوتهم وذكرهم في الورى ظلم وطغيان؟ هل أبقى الموت ذا عز لعزته أو هل نجا منه بالسلطان إنسان؟ كلا والذي خلق البرية من عدم الكل يفنى فلا إنس ولا جان. After all the tyrants, the dictators, there will be a time that no one will remain. Only Allah remains. Then Allah will say, لِمَنِ الْمُلْكُ الْيَوْمِ? To whom is the kingdom today? Then Allah will respond. Allah will say, لِلَّهِ الْوَاحِدِ الْقَهَّارِ. May Allah guide us to the right path. And may Allah save our ummah from Nimroods. And may Allah unite our ummah again. And may Allah make us united as one ummah, as one nation, under La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. الحمد لله وكفى وصلاة وسلاما على النبي المصطفى. My brothers and sisters, the 2 minutes that remained, it's about arrogance. I'm giving this message out of love, out of understanding that sometimes people might inherit some of the traditions that is related to the fame and the name the power, the authority, the position, the money, the wealth, the relatives, the connections. Islam came against all of these things. A man who came to Rasulullah one day and proudly he started to mention the names of his relatives. You know, my family has so and so and so and so, mentioning the names with the titles, with the positions, out of arrogance. You know what did Rasulullah say? He said, all of them will be in the hellfire and you will be with them. You know why? Because the worst of the sins ever that person can make after shirk, after association partners with Allah, is to have arrogance in his heart. Listen to this hadith carefully. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in the hadith, لا يدخل الجنة من كان في قلبه مثقال ذرة من كبر. The one who has an atom weight of arrogance in his heart, he will never enter Jannah. He will never make it to Jannah. He didn't say the one who has some arrogance. No. An atom of weight, a little bit, tiny thing of arrogance in his heart, he will not enter Jannah. That's why my message, humble yourself more. The more that you humble yourself, the more that Allah will raise your status amongst people. The more that you show submission to Allah, the more that you humble yourself down to people, the more that you feed people, the more that you serve people, the more that you avoid arrogance, the more that you will be beloved to Allah. That's a reality. Forget about ethnicity. Forget about your color. Forget about your wealth. Forget about your position. And I told you before, lots of people will enter Jahannam because of one word. Don't you know who I am? Lots of people will enter Jahannam because of this word. Don't you know who I am? Let me tell you who you are. You are a sperm. You are a sperm. Was created from a sperm. And your forefather was created from dust. يَبْنَ التُّرَابِ وَمَأْكُولَ التُّرَابِ غدا أقصر فإنك مأكول ومشروب. لو استشعر الناس ما في بطونهم ما استشعر الكبر شبان ولا شيب. If you know exactly what is in your stomach, you will never feel arrogance. You know why? Because we are so weak. Just a little thorn to your feet and you cannot sleep the entire night. A little pain. So why do you feel arrogance? Or why do you think that maybe you are better than others? And let me say it clearly in this masjid and for this community. No one is better than others. And let's make it clearly. If you are white, black, if you are speaker of English, non-speaker of English, if you are Arabic, non-Arab, speaks Arabic, cannot speak Arabic. If you're born as Muslims, if you're born as Muslim, or you just reverted to Islam yesterday, no one is better than others. Islam is against racism. Islam against segregation. Islam against discrimination. Listen to Allah. When Allah said, Ya ayyuhan nas, O people, we have created you from male and female, and we made you as tribes, as nations, so you can know each other's. You can learn from each other's. You can serve each other's. And none of you is better than others, except in the sight of Allah, those who have taqwa to Allah. That's it. Forget about arrogance. Rasulullah, the best of the creation ever, used to serve people, used to feed people, used to sit with the poor and needy. Nowadays, because of a person had a couple of dollars in his bank account, or he just got a new Mercedes, he thinks himself like driving, I am bitter. I cannot stay with those people. I cannot invite them to the wedding of my son. Why? Because they do not relate to our class, Imam. They do not belong to our class, Imam. Leave it. That's arrogance. That is ignorance. That has to stop in our Muslim communities. We are one. May Allah guide us to the right path. May Allah bring us together in Jannatul Firdaus. May Allah gather us with the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah grant victory to our brothers and sisters. اللهم انصر الإسلام وأعز المسلمين. اللهم اعل بفضلك كلمتي الحق والدين. اللهم من أرادنا وديننا بخير فوفقه يا رب العالمين، ومن أرادنا وديننا بشر فاجعل كيده في نحره واجعل الدائرة عليه وأرنا فيه يوما أسودا. اللهم آمين. اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وإسرافنا في أمرنا. اللهم وحد صفنا واجمع كلمتنا، حببنا إلى بعضنا، ألف بين قلوبنا. اللهم انزع البغضاء من بيننا إنك على كل شيء قدير. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين وأقم الصلاة. قوموا إلى صلاتكم يرحمكم.